Namaste ji, AntiDigest here. A couple of months ago, I moved to a different state in the US. While moving my stuff, the moving company damaged my only desk. And it was not a big damage, it was like a corner damage, very small damage. But the insurance company decided to pay me the full price of the desk. I then assembled a new desk, getting the desktop from IKEA and the frame from Autonomous. And now, since I had the new desk assembled, I had no use of the big old desk. Mind you, this was a pretty big desk, which is pretty much, I think, why it got damaged. But I have a tendency to hoard things, and it did not seem like I was ready to let go of the drawers attached to the desk. I mean, they were pretty useful in the past, and at the same time, they were also hoarding stuff for me, like my old projects, which were pretty much gathering dust for me. So I decided I am going to pull the desk apart. And again, it is a big desk, and I had no idea where to start. I usually take my time when I'm working on something like this, and this is kind of fun for me. So I took a long time in getting this done. Obviously, the first step was cleaning everything off the old table. And then getting the top off the table, leaving the two separate drawer sets out to maybe gather some dust. Do remember that this needed to be done when I was setting up the other table. The reason for that being that two tables in my room would leave no space for the bed. Or I think pretty much anything else. Plus, also, why do I need two tables anyway? And if you remember anything from that video, basically, if you're anything like me, then you would do everything you can to break your back. I think I was stressing my back a bit too much, but I still had to get it done. So I just got started. Okay, Google, play music on
Playing
bedroom.
some music on Spotify.
What I've learned over the years is that the main part in doing something new is to enjoy the process, get a full experience, understand what you're working on as a beginner. Because once you're done with the first one, you will not be a beginner anymore, right? Once everything is off the desk and you've gotten the wooden support accessories out from the bottom of the desk, it was time for the biggest challenge in this, hammering out the top. Now, I had already noticed the tabletop being attached directly to the drawer set. So, my first instinct was just to hammer it out. Although quickly I realized that everywhere there is an attachment like this, there is going to be something like a wooden piece through the holes on both sides, and over it super glue to stick the two sides. I don't yet know why this is done, but I've seen this in a lot of places now. So, with the left side of the drawer set, my approach towards pushing the top off changed a bit. Where I tried to cut through the glue and the wooden piece before I tried to pull out the screwed inside. And yes, understanding that was fun. And then you already know, new successor comes in. But wait, this was only half the job done. Do you not see that the drawer set is now topless? And I also felt that each of these were a bit too high. I think about 2.5 inches higher than my taste. So the next step was just to cut the tabletop in the size of the drawer set and also to chop the bottom off the drawers. And the more I thought about it, the more I kind of wanted it to just not stay a drawer set anymore. I wanted it to become something new, like a workshop area for me or something. And so that's what I started working towards. I would say it was difficult in the beginning, without any tools at all, to make progress on this. And so with time, I had to move the parts around the house a lot just to make space for me to move around. Later, I found a workshop nearby where I could go in after hours every day and use the tools there for free. I think this was the best deal I could have found. till date. And so I went in for a little test. Actually, I don't have a video of the first time I went in. I took my GoPro with me, but I think I was working on some other video then, and so I forgot the SD card of the GoPro. But the second time I went in, I took the video of the part where I cut one of the drawer set from the bottom, and so it is at least 2.5 inches shorter. My thinking here was that once it was short enough, I could put one of those under the new work from home desk that I built. And the first one that I cut short fit perfectly in. But like I said in the work from home desk video, you couldn't just move a bit to the left or to the right. You have to sit straight. It restricted my movement a lot. So, final decision, keep it out, but close to the work desk. Once I got the height right, it was time to cover them from the top. The way I started visualizing it was for it to look like a workshop bench or something, with drawers opening on both sides of the workshop bench. So the final thing was to cut the tabletop in the way that it showed the curved corners on the outside and had a flat inside which would go by the wall, which was, I would say, the toughest part of the process, involving me taking the tabletop all the way to a workshop in my car. I did not want to spend money on a U-Haul for a 2-minute drive. And then, after lots of cutting and more cutting and still more cutting, and then hammering, and sometimes taking out a hammered nail, and more hammering, and taking out more nails, and then finally hammering, the final product was complete. And even though it has a slight hiccup in the middle where I could have done some better woodwork, I think it worked out way better than I expected it to be. This was my very first time doing this. And I know I said after the first time you're not a beginner anymore, but I feel like I'm just getting started. And I thoroughly enjoyed my first time working on something like this. Actually, nowadays, I've literally started imagining how some wooden object would have been. Like when I see a bench around me or something, I see the wood being cut so finely with such good precision, and the bench being done well so that it does not wobble when you sit or something. I've started appreciating the wooden items that we take for granted every day. And obviously, I am not at that level. I am a person who's just getting started. But I think given enough time and effort, I would love to get there. Until then, thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Okay, signing off now. Okay.